Hello, Katz Edition here. Writing is something anyone can do. So, of course, as people start, they develop some bad writing habits. Being able to write a good story is like a sandwich. You want to put the vegetables first, because you need a good and firm start. In this case, being the bread. And there's a trend that I've been really hating recently. People telling you about the world as exposition instead of showing people through environmental storytelling. Plot lines, or hell, even character motivations and natural dialogue. Don't know what I'm talking about? Then let me just explain. If a setting is a war-broken world, you can just do the lazy thing and at the start just have characters say, "We're living in a war-broken world ever since evil guy did evil thing and now he's has control of the entire world." But that's boring. That's the boring choice. If you want to make it interesting and want to establish setting the right way from the start, for a visual story, you could pan over a barren war site to show the size of the war, or even to show the weapons that people are using in this time. It can help further expand the world building. For some examples, let's say there's swords, axe, shields, and small knives. You could know this would be set more in the past. Or if there are futuristic weapons, it could be showing that it's going to be in a more futuristic or technologically advanced setting. Of course, whenever there's writing, you don't have the benefit of visuals. You have a bigger benefit. The benefit of the imagination and the power of words. Of course, everything I've talked about up to this point could be done by just writing and using descriptive words to show the world in the way you want to show it. But of course, if you don't want to start your story with a description of a place, you could write a prologue, for example, of a person with a normal life, well, at least relative to your world, getting dragged into the war and dying, to show the consequence of this story and to show the grand size of the war. And if you can express that without much dialogue, by describing the way the characters look, the way they react, you can create a way more engaging start to a story. And a new way for people to experience a world they haven't been in yet. Or you could just tell the viewer everything they need to know about the world, and then move on and have nothing new for them to discover. Alright, enough shitting on Star Wars. Now, let's show some good examples and some shit examples. Here's some films that do this well. But I am going to talk about this one so I can click video later. Bruce Almighty is a film starring Jim Carrey, where a small town reporter is trying to become a big shot reporter, and he meets God after an extremely shitty week. The film is started by him telling the viewer who he is and what he wants. We see him right on the job, and we get a pretty good surface understanding of him, which is then hidden by the immediate next scene of him and his wife trying to make a scrapbook of their past and asking him to help her out. We truly get to see that Bruce and his wife care for each other. It's just that he's too hung up on his own business, on his reporting business, on his really bad luck for the day, and everything like that, to understand that he's being a dick. This is honestly a perfect introduction for this film. It not only establishes the themes the film will keep exploring, but also introduces the main characters, and we see him hit his rock bottom. He loses his big reporting job, he messes up a case, his one hated co-worker becomes the main head for the company, and then he gets beat up by a bunch of thugs for trying to defend the homeless man.
Keep walking. What? What?
Run, man!
I was just kidding.
Of course, how about a film that has a way more complex premise? The Lion King is a film about two things: the Animal Kingdom and what is life. The Animal Kingdom and what life is. The first shot of The Lion King is a spanning shot through different species of animals in the savannah, of a man singing his heart out and eventually arriving at the cliff, seeing all animals watching the birth/coronation of the new prince. It's both a great scene and a great start. It tells us both that animals are sentient and they have a type of hierarchy, a sense of respect towards each other. And it sets the mood for the entire film, introducing us to the first sight of the circle of life, birth. So you guys want to talk about shit start? The B movie starts about expositioning anything important to the story. Instead, they make a joke about bees being fat. They show us bees that have futuristic technology, but they still can't tell tennis balls apart from flowers because funny joke has to funny happen. There are some other tropes to start a film. For example,
all my life, I seem to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
sometimes these starts can be pretty interesting. And then the Sonic movie.
Oh, I know what you're thinking. Why is that incredibly handsome hedgehog being chased by a madman with a mustache from the Civil War? Well, to be honest, it feels like I've been...
Look, I don't hate flashbacks, alright? I think they can be a good narrative tool if you want to tell a story that's not in order. I think less streamlined storytelling should be encouraged. But if you're gonna have a fucking flashback, don't narrate over it. Like, sometimes music can make a way bigger impact than making jokes like positioning.
This is the island where I'm from. It had everything. Sandy beaches, cascading waterfalls, public access to loop-de-loops. And I never had to catch a school bus because I could run across the entire island in less than 2 seconds. Also, there was no school. I know, pretty sweet island, right? I was born with extraordinary powers and was told to keep them secret. And like any kid, I did the exact opposite.
I hope this showed why a start can be so crucial to a film, why the introduction to a world can make such a big impact. But of course, there's only films. And if you want to talk about books that have a perfect start, Captain